Safety would like to thank the leadership of the House for entrusting us with this important task of conducting hearings regarding online disinformation in our country. Pursuant to House Resolution number 286, which was adopted by the House on December 18, 2024, the Committee on Public Order and Safety, Information and Communications Technology, and Public Information, or the TRICOM, were authorized to conduct a joint inquiry in aid of legislation on the rampant posting of false and malicious content in social media platforms while safeguarding freedom of speech and ensuring digital safety. We thank the authors, namely Senior Deputy Speaker Gonzales, Deputy Speaker David J.J. C. Suarez, Majority Leader Manuel Jose Manix M. Dalipe, Minority Leader Marcelino C. Libanan, Representative Robert Ace Barbers, Benvenito M. Abante Jr., and Joseph Stephen Caraps S. Paduano for filing House Resolution number 2147, which the House adopted as House Resolution number 286. Sino rito ang nabiktima na ng maling impormasyon sa social media? Sino rito ang nakapag-share ng maling impormasyon sa social media na pinaniniwalaan nila na totoo? Malamang lahat tayo, ang masamang epekto ng disinformasyon at misinformasyon ay lalong umalingaw sa gitna ng isang global crisis sa ating kalusugan noong panahon ng COVID-19 pandemic, kung saan talamak ang paglabas ng mali-maling impormasyon sa internet. Noong panahon na iyon, mahirap para sa ordinaryong mamamayan na makakuha ng kritikal at wastong impormasyon mula sa ating mga ahensya. Sino rito ang nabiktima ng scam? O may kilalang nabiktima ng scam? Malamang lahat din tayo. Dahil sa social media, ang cybercrimes ngayon ay may tuturing na natin na mas madalas pang mangyari sa buhay ng isang karaniwang tao kesa sa mga common crimes. Bilang komite na may mandato na siyasatin ang lahat ng bagay na nauugnay sa pagsugpo ng kriminalidad, layunin po natin dito ang magkapagsagawa ng naangkop na batas laban sa mali at malisyosong impormasyon na nagdudulot ng pinsala at krimen sa ating mamamayan, lalong-lalo na sa ating mga kabataan. Napapanahon ang ating diskurso ngayong araw na ito dahil laganap na ang mga kasinungalingan at peking balita sa social media. Bawat Pilipino, lalong-lalo na mga menor de edad, mga hindi nakapag-aral, mga matatanda na hindi sanay sa teknolohiya at iba pang mga vulnerable sector ng ating lipunan, tayong lahat ay posibleng maging biktima ng panloloko at paglilinlang sa social media. Isang nakakaalarmang sitwasyon sa social media ay ang pag-normalize ng paggamit ng bastos na salita, toxic behavior, haters, personal attacks o bashing. Our children start to experience self-hate and resort to self-harm. Bagamat sinusubukan na matugunan ang mga insidente ng cyberbullying, ito pa rin ay maaaring maging sanhi ng depresyon, suicidal thoughts, at iba pang mga long-term negative effect sa ating mental health. Napakahirap na mawari kung ano ang totoo at peke sa social media, lalo-lalo na at mayroong satirical news websites, AI-generated images at deepfakes. Ayon sa isang survey, 86% ng mga Pilipino ay naniniwala na isang malaking problema ang fake news. Ngunit mas malaking problema ang mga trolls na sadyang nagpapalaganap ng peking balita. Ang disinformasyon na kinakalat nila ay may tuturing na weaponization of social media kapag ito ay nagdulot ng karahasan o nagasik ng pagkabitak-bitak ng ating lipunan. Hindi natin maikakait ang malalim na pinsalang dulot ng peking balita, cybercrimes, lalo na kung ito ay patungkol sa kalusugan, seguridad ng bansa, terorismo, child sexual abuse o exploitation. natural na kalamidad, public emergency at integridad ng ating mga demokratikong institusyon. Banggitin ko lamang po ang isang mahalagang bagay na tinatalakay noong Quadcom. Ito ay ang paglaganap ng scam farms ng mga pogo. Nakita natin na ang mga pogo ay gumagamit ng mga social media upang maglabas ng pekeng job offers. At
Let us uphold the highest moral and ethical standards, recognizing that all freedoms and rights come with the responsibility to use them wisely. Together, let us foster a respectful and productive dialogue that contributes to inform policy making and the public good. With that in mind, I look forward to a constructive discussion with all of you. Thank you and good morning.
Thank you so much, Co-Chair Joboy Aquino. Now, the Chair would like to recognize one of the authors of House Resolution number 2147, Senior Deputy Speaker Don Gonzales. Now, you are recognized, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman Dan, Chairman Johnny, Chairman Joboy, honorable members, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good morning to all of us. It is my privilege to sponsor House Resolution number 286, which calls for a joint inquiry in aid of legislation on the rampant posting of false and malicious content on social media platforms, while safeguarding freedom of speech and ensuring digital safety. Social media bridges gaps. Pinag-uugnay nito ang mga tao, bumubuo ito ng mga komunidad, nagpapalawak ng mga kamalayan at nagsusulong ng pagbabahagi ng kaalaman. According to online article by Data Reportal, the Philippines was home to 86
Must be treated as legitimate businesses requiring a franchise or accreditation system. By holding these platforms accountable for monitoring and removing defamatory content, we can foster a safer and more responsible digital environment. This measure will not only encourage ethical content creation, but also curb the spread of libelous and misleading information. Just as traditional media operates under legal and ethical standards, bloggers and online influencers must also be subject to similar regulations to prevent the reckless dissemination of falsehoods. In recent years, we have witnessed the alarming rise of trolls, bloggers, and malicious online actors who, under the guise of exercising free speech, systematically spread fake news and engage in character assassination. These individuals and groups, operating with seeming impunity, have poisoned public discourse and in many instances tarnished the reputation of those who dare challenge their narratives. Despite the existence of laws such as the Cybercrime Prevention Act, Filipinos remain vulnerable to online deception, harassment, and digital attacks that threaten not only individual lives but also the integrity of our democracy. The reality is that these network of trolls are not simply expressing opinions. They are engaged in a well-orchestrated, well-funded campaign to spread disinformation, manipulate public perception, and destabilize institutions. The sources of funding for these operations remain in the shadows, possibly linked to illicit activities such as POGO operations or criminal syndicates. These financial resources are weaponized to create chaos, erode trust in government, undermine the media, and weaken our democratic foundations. Ironically, but not surprisingly, none of these actors speak out against China's aggression in the West Philippine Sea, proving our suspicion of illegal foreign funding. Let us be clear. This is no longer a mere issue of online criticism. What we are facing is a calculated effort to deceive, defame, and discredit those who seek to uphold the truth. These trolls are mercenaries of disinformation, paid to disrupt, confuse, and divide. Their mission is to drown out facts, distort the truth, and silence those who speak out against corruption and injustice. We too have not been spared. As public servants, we have been personally targeted by these malicious actors. Myself, my colleagues, and even the President. We accept criticism when it pertains to our official duties. But it is evident that these attacks go beyond public accountability. Their true intent is to discredit us before the electorate and the people we serve through personal and baseless attacks. The Supreme Court in Labargan versus People of the Philippines, GR number 246824, citing the Kev Jr. versus People in GR number 206015, ruled that, and I quote, offensive imputations against public officers do not constitute defamation if these relate to their discharge of official duties unless the prosecution proves actual malice. Defamatory utterances are malicious when made with knowledge that they were false or with reckless disregard as to its falsity. Unquote.
Anthony Lopez.
Nilagay po nila ako doon sa resulta, number 36 ako. Hindi naman ho tatama ito. Ito po yung gusto nating i-address lahat. Hindi lamang po social media.
We understand that your predicament,
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Congressman Marcoleta.
Bibigay ko po yung
And the
kopya para sa referensya po.
representation also doesn't believe that. Because on my own assumption, nasa top 5 ka. So, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, just
Mr. Chair.
kidding aside. No,
Mr. Chair.
Kidding aside. We have to tackle that issue as well, that being espoused by Congressman Marcoleta. So we will be inviting over in the next hearing, what survey firm is that? SWS and the Power Station. Ilan ba yan?
Ito lang muna yung nakita ko.
Yes.
At saka yung Manila Broadcasting Corporation.
NBC. Because in the House resolution itself, the House resolution number 2147, it clearly states that
Social media lang.
Yeah.
Ito lang eh.
Oh, kaya yun lang yung topic natin.
but we cannot, but it was, we are not delivered. No. Congressman Barb, it was correct.
Yeah, maybe we can
We are tackling
expand.
not only the House Resolution number 2147, we're also tackling two privileged speeches that was delivered by you. So I think may basis po yung kay Congressman Marcoleta. Okay, and at the same time, so there's a, Mr. Chair, noted po yung kay Congressman Marcoleta. Now,
May I now be recognized?
Abante, now you are recognized.
My query is if we have invited a certain Elizabeth Cruz, no, aka Joey De Vibre, Mr. Chair, if we have invited her and she has an excuse letter, may I know what was the excuse, Mr. Chairman?
Consent, please answer the query of Congressman Abante. Please.
Pang sa social media. Dito ay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Miss Elizabeth Joy Cruz was invited and she sent an excuse letter via email.
Ano po yung kanya excuse letter? Ano yung dahilan?
One moment, sir. I'll get it from the chair. Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Invite mo Comsec, can you kindly also try to tell us those resource persons who have not attended this committee hearing? Yung may mga excuse letter, okay yun. But those who have not reply to our request to be present on today's hearing.
Thank you, Mr.
Mr. Chair,
Chair.